Hey, hello, hello, hello. I know this was last minute. I'm so sorry. But y'all, I'm a little tired. It's Sunday fun day, and I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. So we're gonna get in, get out on this one. This is the part 3 of our Terrence Howard series on the Straight Talk podcast appearance that he did. So we are going to do the intro real quick. This is gonna be, I think this is a little bit of an interesting, like, we're gonna wrap it up today. We're not gonna really talk about the pay differential, I don't think. Um, but we'll discuss a lot, and we'll be able to tie a neat bow around this and move forward. All right. Here is the intro, and hit like and share and let everybody know we're live now. Hello and welcome back. I'm so happy to see y'all here tonight. We're gonna wrap up the Terrence Howard thing. I hope your Sunday is going quite well. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to the channel. If you like this content and you want to be sure that you see me, um, make sure that you get the notifications. Check and make sure that you are subscribed, because I think YouTube's been dropping some subscribers here and there lately. Okay. So make sure that you're subscribed. Check that. Make sure you hit the bell so you can get the notifications, and go on and hit that like button. That's really going to help me get back up into the algorithms of it all. And I'm actually going to put this down here because I need to. I really haven't talked to anybody today, y'all. It is 80 some degrees here today, or it was about 80. It didn't get to 80 some. It got upper 70s to 80. And I was very happy. And I've been just enjoying the day. So here we are. But I want to welcome y'all, and I want to let everybody, I want to let the folks know, right? This is all fair use. And so that's scrolling on the bottom. It's been doing that. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Hello. I'm good. I don't know why I'm tired. I got plenty of rest this weekend. I mean, really, I slept in both days, and I got plenty of rest, but mm-mm. Anywho's Neimer. So we're not going to be long tonight because I still haven't cooked my dinner yet, child. So I got to go in there and make my dinner. I am having chicken and yellow, orange, and red peppers with some fresh onion. I might put it over rice rather than potatoes. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. Okay, you guys ready to get to the last part? Now, where we left off, I think we were talking about absolute truth. We were talking about how Terrence was talking about how he's not afraid to lose his life, because, you know, he says as long as he's doing what the creator would have him to do, then, he is well protected. Before I do that, I want to just put a couple things out here. Right, what took me so long while I was late, I did just decide to open up some natal chart readings for y'all. And so if you go to this link, you can't necessarily pay at the link, but if you go to this link right here, you can book a natal chart reading. They're usually over $100 or more. I'm going to do like a special just for about a week or so, where they're $55 for 45 minutes. And these are intuitive readings. I see your past lives usually, current, what's going on, like what would be possible careers, things of that nature. We see past trauma, all kinds of great stuff in there as well. And then I am still having my other two where you can get private readings for 30 and 60 minutes. And oh, control C. That information is here. So all of that is there. So you guys, if you want to go in and book those calls, so you can get some time and get on my calendar. I have a relatively late week. And there's also other ways to chat with me if you want to get into a business. All right. You're making fajada? I don't know what that is. You'll have to tell me. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna go over here and let us begin our conversation. I'm almost sad to not be talking about this anymore. I'm almost sad. Okay, and then we're going to speed it up a little bit because we are still using fair use. Okay, so if I fast forward some stuff, guys, because if he gets into the pay disparity, we've seen that enough, right? But I want to be sure we get the last of the metaphysics stuff out of it. So here we go.
So when you talk about work, how do you?
Hold on, guys. I got to turn this up. Fejo, Fejo Ada. Fejo Ada. Oh, interesting. Still never heard of it. Brazilian black. Oh, you have to send me that recipe. Hey, Bianca, how are you? How are you? Yes, Beth, you need to send me that recipe. Okay, here we go, guys.
Categorize the work that you've done on the acting side. It's so different. It's so vastly different. Let me just say that.
Yeah,
I recognize it just in talking to you and doing the research on all of your other interviews and what you've done already. And we're definitely going to get into that. But how do you categorize the two?
well, you compartmentalize it because of the very nature that it exists. Like I said before, and I've used this illustration, so I'm gonna keep the consistent messaging. Can you imagine if Jesus showed up every day at 5:30? Okay, yeah, y'all, at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna walk on the water. Pay the money because I'm gonna walk on water, and he did that every day. Me as an actor is literally, I consider it as Jesus walking on water for tips.
Wow.
It's yeah,
It's effortless.
yeah. People say, okay, yeah, you're an actor. Why don't you keep acting? Why don't you keep acting? Because I have an entire generation that needs this truth.
Mm-hmm.
An entire generation that needs to understand the truth about what's taking place within the universe. Because we are. I'll take you guys on another walk. In 1970, they did uh, examination of the human body. Like I said, the average male produced 1,500 sperm per heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
They redid that same test in 2020. The average male produced 10 to 15 million sperm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 2.64% reduction by year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you follow that out by the
Sorry, guys. Let me pause it. So, what he's about to get into is how various things, environmental, things as simple as plastics, how different things has affected the male reproduction capabilities. And this is insane. Here we go.
year 2045, there will be no males left on this planet able to produce sperm. Why? Because of a thing called bisphenol, hard plastics, BPAs, or BPHs, or phthalates. PHTHYLATES, a nasty word. But what it does, because they didn't know what to do with the products from the refinery, so they started putting it in polyester and all of these clothes. But as a result, what that plastic does and those fine particles does in our body sees, the carbon. Estrogen is made from carbon. Testosterone has carbon attributes to it. So the adrenal receptors are going around throughout the body, Everything okay? Everything is okay. And if it's not okay, then the male's body produces testosterone and it fills those receptors. And if it's not okay for the woman, the female's body, her ovaries produces estrogen, and they go, and their body is now imbalanced. But because of the phthalates, what it does, it mimics the estrogen, it mimics the testosterone inside those adrenal receptors, and so now the testes don't produce, and so men become effeminized. There's
Okay, now I'm not gonna go into. No, we're gonna go there. Do y'all grasp what he just said? That because of we know about BPH, but I did not know about these phthalates. That is insidious. The fact that the phthalates then attach to the adrenal receptors and they mimic for us testosterone, for men, for us estrogen, for men testosterone. 2045 is not far away. That's 21 years. So he's saying by 2045, we wouldn't have testosterone. Men would not be able to produce effective sperm in order to fertilize eggs, in order, like the human race could go bye-bye.
Is that what's going on?
there's a guy named Dr. Tyrone that funny name, but he did a test with frogs,
Mhm.
and the frogs became homosexual.
Mhm.
The females become masculinized, and the males become feminized. And it's something that's a terrible thing that's taking place. And that's what I like about the honorable minister. He's constantly been talking about maintain your man card. You don't trade that in, but take care of your body and know what you are putting in it. So stop drinking plastics, because by 2045, there will be no males left on this planet, not just within the human species, the human platform of life. We're talking about, because the plastics are in the oceans everywhere. So no, so you're talking about an extinction level event for everything in what, less than 26 years.
Wow.
26
That's
years
long.
if we don't turn around. But what's interesting, if you stop drinking plastic today, within 3 months your
Regenerate.
your testosterone levels come back, your estrogen levels come back, if you remove the plastic from it, unless your mother drank from plastic while you were in utero. Because now there's this thing called the ADG, the anus to genital gap, that for a woman is supposed to be twice as far between should be twice as between a male and a female. But now
I call it the
man,
GG.
yeah, well, now the young man, you can't distinguish the distance between the two, and so you can't reverse that. You can't reverse that.
Okay, so
men are being born with micro penises and all of these things, and you can't reverse that. But for us of that original age, that we have a chance to fix, and most people can fix it if you take the plastics out. But they don't want you to do that because they need people to pass away.
So
Did y'all catch that? I know this is going up and down. This is probably not what y'all was expecting. Y'all was not expecting this on a Sunday. Y'all like, Lisa, really? This is what we're going to talk about on a Sunday? I forgot about this. So basically, all life, I correct myself, all life on the human planet, all life on planet Earth, all life on planet Earth. Well, where are you gonna go? Well, that's what they're saying, is that if we use all using the plastic, that's why. And that, what's funny is, here we go. I usually drink out of this. Well, I'm not bearing any children, but I probably need to stop drinking out of even my Starbucks hard plastics. I imagine you don't probably have it in the ceramics. We know we don't have it in glass. The Stanley mugs are good, right? Stainless steel, I would assume. I have to see if there's phthalates in there. This is nuts. You'll be 44, yeah. Well, you will have kids by the end, or find someone to. Oh, good, thank you. This is insane to me. Like that, just that alone, like that, we should be not more concerned, but right, but we should be concerned about that. And for those of us who are women of a certain age, there's a couple things that I want us to think about. When I think about with my girls, Because of course I was drinking from plastics in the late 80s, early 90s. Plus with the hormones that were in like chicken and stuff like that. Um, I wonder if that's why there's so many women that are in like that 30s to 40s range that have PCOS. I wonder why, if that's big reason why some of us have to end up with like the bioidentical hormonal replacements. Like, I gotta believe that this is a lot to do with it. A lot to do with it. I see when Brazil soda would be sold in glass and plastic. That's that's the same, but mostly glass. That's the same in Mexico. That's the same over in Europe. Like, for Mexico for sure. It's that all the sodas, even when you go by like Mexican soda here, when they import it, it's in glass bottles. It's not plastic. Well, in California, it's in glass. I've noticed here it's not. And yep, all of that. So this is, you guys. This is insane, insane. Here we go.
Oh, because and again, we talked about food earlier, but I've been vegan for like 27 years. But lately, when I was saying earlier before we started rolling, I don't even like eating because so much of the food is GMO or plastic. So I drink out of glass bottles if I can find them.
That's all I drink.
That's all I drink is. I'm not gonna give them a plug right now because they're not paying me. So
No.
I'm not gonna mention the name of the brand I use, but glass bottles is what I drink out of. And I've been doing that for, oh my God, I don't know how long. And most people look at it like, oh, you think you're better. It's like, no, I don't want to drink plastic. And I'm gonna tell you a true story. I was cooking grits one day, and I was using, this was years ago,
What's grits?
yellow grits.
Just-
I'm not gonna tell you the brand, just grits. And I was putting some, I'm not gonna use the brand. It was a brand that comes in this container. It's brown and tan, got black writing on it. Everybody uses it, especially in the
South.
yes. So I put the butter in there. It took forever to melt. And that's when I was like, something is wrong with this food. It's got to be plastic because it wouldn't melt. It would, I mean, I stirred it and stirred it and stirred it, and it just would not melt. And I'm like, this is not right. There's no way that this hot, because y'all know hot grits.
Yeah.
We know what hot grits can do.
Al Green will tell you that.
Pillow. It wouldn't melt. So I'm like, okay, plastics in the butter, plastics in the food, even the salmon. I was eating salmon at one point, and they're saying now that the actual real salmon, the modified salmon, is eating the real salmon. So you can't even get wild caught salmon.
No.
Because of all the genetically modified things that are going on. And so many people don't know.
We are
things.
facing extinction. So when people say, hey, Terrence, why don't you keep acting? Keep acting. No, I'm trying to keep us alive right now.
Go back to the work. Because I did see where you were coming. You said you want to retire, and you came back.
Yeah.
So what was that transition like, and why did you decide to come back?
Okay, so this is the part, hang on guys. This is the part where he's talking about the his pay. Not that Terrence, not that the whole thing is okay, wait, they took the money from him. You guys can find this anywhere. Pictures, comments. Come down and say this. Okay. Hang on 1 second, guys. Sorry. That's the Big Bang Theory. They're going to court. She asked what kind of a why, which one. Okay, here we go. All right. So I went past all the acting stuff. You guys can go through and listen. That's from like about 55 minutes at least, about 55, 56 minutes all the way through to about an hour and 9. So here, now she's changing subjects. And I'm not trying to be funny. It's just, I know you guys can see that anywhere. So here we go.
I'm gonna go the acting route.
Okay.
If you were to choose a wife from any of the characters that you play opposite of, which one would it be?
Mm. I haven't had too many wives. And,
You want me to give you some examples?
yeah, give me some. Throw some.
So like Hustle and Flow or Empire.
No,
Or
Taraji
she's
would be. She would be on it. She wouldn't.
okay. So
She would. That's just not my nature.
the last series you did with the Best Man Holidays.
No.
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 Trying to do the good one. Um,
he's ridiculous. Like, no,
I would
none of
choose
them.
not to have a wife.
okay, that might be.
If because there's so much work that I have to do,
Okay.
and like the Temptation said,
It's
you've got to shower a woman. A woman needs constant
we
attention.
do.
They need and
We were made that way.
I know, and
We were made that way.
it's hard to give all of the attention that a woman needs when you have to take care of
Okay.
trying to educate or lift up
Mhm,
an entire nation, entire
mhm.
generation.
So this is good because as women, we're always taxed as being emotional creatures. I think we're both emotional, men and women.
Mhm.
I just think men is called ego and women is emotion. Um,
I've never thought about that.
yeah,
It's true.
yeah,
I think it would
they're
be
both,
true.
yeah, because men are, I think they're very emotional.
Same tear
Because
ducts
they're
that women. Yeah.
yeah, it's just not expressed in the same manner
It's not
and
acceptable.
as frequently as we do. Um, and because yes, we were raised differently. Women were raised to be in the kitchen, to be cooking. I mean, by the
To
time
be
we could
nurturing.
walk, yeah, we have bottles in our mouths and we have little plate vacuum cleaners and dishes to cook and clean with and pots and pans and
Consistent message.
babies. It's constant programming from the time we were born. So when I encounter a man that says, "Oh, you're so emotional, you're this, you're that," it's like this is who I was created and formed to be is a wife. So it's like all I know is how to take care of you, how to get up in the morning and cook and do all these things, and then I'm told, "Oh, you're too emotional." It's like, so how do we reconcile that?
Can I just say something here? I know y'all are like, lady, will you let this play? No, I got to do some commentary. When she made that statement right there, I thought, why are we equating caring for a house and cooking and cleaning with being emotional? I can't, I mean, because when you're in the military, you're taught like everything has to be meticulous, everything has to be very clean and organized. They're not being emotional. It just struck me as odd that those duties are equated in her mind. I'm not denigrating her. I'm just saying I find it odd that doing those things are then equated with being an emotional creature. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Like, talk to me. Tell me what you think about it. Sebastian says sodas. Yeah, sodas taste different in other countries than here because they don't use fructose, high fructose syrup in other countries. They use real sugar, and usually it's cane sugar. They use real sugars. They use real flavors. They don't put a lot of the additives, the preservatives, the colorations, all of that. They'll use like caramel, I think it is, to make a cola look like cola. Yeah. Or like molasses. Making butter's not so difficult. We should be making our own stuff. But you know what I mean? Like that didn't that every time I see this, that kind of shocks me. Like I don't equate knowing how to wash dishes and cooking with being emotional. Anyway, just something to think about. I mean, I do agree with you that women tend to be, I don't know if it's anymore, because I think, like for me, for my generation, with my girls, I didn't program them to be wives. Everybody had to cook, everybody had to clean, everybody had to, do outside work. Like it was very gender neutral. Okay. Because my household was not. Okay. My household was not. I was, I did a lot of the, girl stuff. Mom cooked everything. Dad wouldn't let anybody else cook. But the girl stuff I had to do. I don't think my brothers washed a dish until I left home. They dried. And I don't even know if the dad made him do it then. But I still had to go out there and shovel the snow with them and mow the lawn with them. It wasn't like I got away with something. Only thing I didn't have to do was take out the trash. Anyway, my point being is that my kids, there were not really specific gender roles, let's say. I mean, I felt it was important for my son to learn how to cook and to wash dishes and to clean and to do his own laundry. Like, I felt like that was very important for him to learn, as well as the girls. They all forgot it until they got into their 20s and got out in mid to late 20s, and they were like, Mom, how do you cook such and such a so and so? My son, yeah, no, not really. Anyway, and everybody went outside and did, yard work and stuff that wasn't that way. So I won't say I programmed my daughters to be wives per se. That doesn't mean that they're not able to be in good relationships, healthy relationships. I just didn't program them that way because I knew they were going to have to work as well. They were going to have to be able to be out here in corporate America. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's continue to watch.
But you guys grow up playing in the streets, football, playing with fellas, you know what I mean?
Boys are
Always
made
out.
of snakes and snails and puppy dog tails. Again,
Exactly.
Africa.
Right.
Or
Right.
women are told girls are made of sugar and spice and
Everything
everything nice.
nice.
So that kind of messaging
Mhm.
and the trauma that a young man feels immediately when he's born
Yeah.
is the most sensitive part of his being, having that snipped
Mhm.
to say, hey, welcome into the world. All of those things have massive
Wow.
effects upon how we come about. But you had asked a question, you had said something. I had a joke. I
No,
didn't remember myself.
I know. We were talking about the work and what made you transition from retirement to then.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to.
Why you had to retire.
I had to because I still have to take care of my family. I still
Mhm.
have all of these industries. I have to get linchpin
Mhm.
fully launched into the world because literally the first country that gets 10 million linchpins will rule the world because there's nothing else that stops.
Yeah. Do you feel as though your message and your mission now with linchpin, with the out of the mathematical errors that are going on, do you feel like that message is being received?
Oh, it is.
Okay.
People are hearing it. There was a video that I didn't even put together that
Mhm.
was put together that
Yeah.
within 3 days we were at 1.2 million views on
Yeah.
it. I watched it go from 9 o'clock in the morning till no, but from 7 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock in the morning 2 days ago, went from 900,000 to 1.2 million, and then it just stopped out of nowhere. Did it just stop out of nowhere? Or are they afraid that it's being spread out there because I was saying the truth about everything? It's being received because
Yeah.
people got their calculators. It's being received because the thing about geometry, like somebody can have an equation and they can confuse a lot of people with an equation. They can confuse a lot of people with a long lecture.
Mhm.
But geometry is its own proof. Symmetry, supersymmetry is its own proof. The eyes look at, well, it looks right. That in itself, you can't argue with.
Mhm.
For years, when I was talking about the 1 × 1 = 2, the world attacked, and they attacked so vigorously and viciously about it. And they didn't know. I waited. I waited until they would need till the hook was all the way down in their intestines. Then I pulled out it with the calculator. Then I
Okay.
tugged at it some more with the patents. Then I tugged at it some more with inventing, making fixed wing aircraft obsolete, and tugged a little more by inventing tangential flight.
Tangential flight. I got that word.
She was
you
saying
heard me. I was
transgender flight. Transgender flight. That sounds like a flight from Atlanta.
Tangential. I was like transgenital. Like, what is that word? But I got it now. It's
You got it. Tangential, meaning to go off in a tangent or fly around your own center of mass, something they've never been able to accomplish with only 6 props. But we don't just have tangential flight, we have unlimited mid-air bonding. We've also defined, patented an entirely new propulsion system that makes the cartridges and all of the other projectile systems that they have obsolete. The U.S. government doesn't have what I have. There's no government in the world that has what I have because all of their stuff is based off of obsolete fundamentals because we've now proven that the platonic solids are averages. And I literally would welcome anybody out there, university, physicists, theorists, chemists, I would love to have a head-to-head duel,
Mm-hmm.
and let's put this out there and examine the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at the end of the day, if you're right, I'll walk away. You can take the patents.
Yep.
But if I'm right, you
Mhm.
hand me your accreditation.
Yes.
You hand me your PhD. You don't deserve it anymore.
Oh, that's huge.
I'm down for it. Let's
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Let's play
Okay.
because the truth don't lie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge.
The truth don't lie.
That's a
Neil
huge
deGrasse
statement.
Tyson, who I initially sent my treatment to, 36 pages,
Mm-hmm.
came back, sent all these redlined it and
Mhm.
these disparaging, kind of was rough.
Mhm.
Hey man, let's get together. Let's have a talk. Let's debate and see if what you say is true. And then you put your accreditation up. I'll put my patent up. And we'll see who has the truth and who's a liar.
Wow. Because I saw the interview you did at Oxford.
Mm-hmm.
And we had this conversation the other night,
Yeah.
I and Dre, and I got to give Dre a shout out for bridging this situation between us being able to sit here. I've known him for so long, but
Yeah.
he's the reason why we're here. And I appreciate him being able to be a
facilitator.
voice, for me, and somebody that, we need these people, like you need, I only see that. Okay. Like he is the reason.
In Johannesburg, shooting Winnie and Nelson, and 2 o'clock in the morning. I just finished doing an interview on the radio, and I'm just sitting there playing with the calculator. And the angel said, "Hey, why don't you put square root of 2 in there? And just cube it, see what happens." And then I did it times 2. Then I added it to itself. And I was like, "How is these the same number?" I was like, did somebody slip me something? I know I had a little tequila at the bar, but
Okay.
I was like, is this real? And then so I kept putting this cycle in here where I put the square root of 2, cubed it, divided by 2, cubed it again, divided by 2. It kept coming back to the same number. And I did it 216 times. I was like, oh, this is a loop. I found the place in the matrix where it doesn't fit together.
It's a glitch.
Oops. Oops. You shouldn't have let me. You shouldn't have told me that.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, well, the same way that the same spirit had led me to every other, discovery, because I was willing. It's just about being willing to be used. And the creator will use you. You can't be afraid of it. And can't be afraid of the consequences of it. You have to embrace it. And what I'm hoping is that the young men and women that's out there, they recognize and see the potential of change just by standing up and doing what's right and refusing to lay down. And that only comes when you know your purpose and your position, and you are unwilling to compromise that, because you're asking me to compromise divinity, and the divine does not bow.
No.
And if they move with it, then we have a sustainable future. Because what I've discovered in the grand unified field equation, with discovering the proton, defining the proton, and doing all these things, you got to remember this is the geometry of hydrogen itself. 99% of the universe is made up of hydrogen. So if we have the template for hydrogen, we have the template for reality and all the things that come with it, and that means life and death. So we can extend this existence. We can heal the diseases. We can heal. We can live till time indefinite, not through praying and God fill us.
Okay, wait. I'm not sure. We're not going to be here too long, baby. We're going to get on out of here. We're going to get on out of here. You make a chicken. You made chicken. Oh, if you weren't so far away, Jace, I'd be over there eating some food right now. Listen, no, I want to add, we're going to get into this, and then we're going to wrap this up because he's almost done. But did you grasp what he just said about knowing your purpose, tapping into your divinity, allowing yourself to be used, and just letting it flow and not letting go of it? He is one of the most, I can't even say it enough, one of the most amazing minds that I've ever seen. And I've known and spoken to and seen and listened to a lot of them over the years. But he's the most amazing one. Hands down. Know your purpose. Know your divinity. Be the channel and never let go. no matter the consequences. That is amazing to me. Now, if you, he's going to talk about hydrogen, and there's 97 patents he has. I'm really considering taking some of this information that he's got on his website, all those links, including the link to this, down below in the description box. So I'm really seriously considering um, like doing some sort of like breakdown of some of the stuff that he's got on that site, because it is like next level. Um, it's just amazing. It is just amazing. I did buttermilk fried chicken the other day. Actually, but I ended up baking. I soaked it in buttermilk still, but I baked it instead of frying it. So, okay, guys, just a short minute more, okay?
know
Back
what
up
you
and all of that.
because we need the Lord to fill us
Because the
up.
truth is, there's you're gonna float off into some spirit realm and do what? That's not what happens. Every element, goes through the transition and comes out the other side. You'll take All right, I'll do it.
I know, because I was
We'll
like, I
do
know you about to go
in
there.
the
So-
carbon octave. In the
Okay.
carbon octave, you start with your helium, and
Mhm.
and the neon is on the other side.
Okay.
Because really, there's only 7 elements, 7 tones for the most part, because all of the elements occur between the pressure conditions of 2 noble gases squeezing on each other. So in the carbon octave, where they squeeze themselves all the way up, you start with lithium, beryllium, boron. Then you have carbon, which is a plus and minus 4.
Mhm.
It's both male and female because you're getting hit from both sides. It has a double tone. Then it goes to nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Fluorine, it goes through the noble gas. Now fluorine comes out, and now it is sodium. It goes from feminine to masculine. So when you breathing in is a masculine thing, a charging of a system, as Walter Russell said. Breathing out is a feminine expanding of a system, a discharging of the system. You never breathe in twice without breathing out once. So how can you go from, we know this isn't our first lifetime here. We've all felt that we've been here forever.
Mm,
Can you remember not
mm,
existing?
Right.
Do you remember not being?
No.
mm.
But do you think you've been a woman in every lifetime? That wouldn't be fair. But it would make sense if you're masculine male in this lifetime, the next life you become feminine. You're a woman. Come back to male. Breathing in, breathing out. That equanimity will allow for karma to take place. Whatever I've done to women in this life gets done to me in the next one. Whatever women have done to men in this life gets. And what happens biologically?
That's interesting, though.
What happens biologically? The male's body stop producing the testosterone, produces more estrogen, start growing boobs, become less aggressive and more understanding. The woman, what is she doing? She's slowly coming up to being more masculine, start actually growing little beards and all of that stuff. She's the prostate, which is the same exact tissue that is in the uterus. When the testosterone level drops, guess what? The estrogen level rises. The prostate, what does the uterus do every month? It sheds. It grows and it sheds. So what happens to the prostate? It starts trying to swell because it's being influenced by the estrogen. The testes go back up and become ovaries.
So basically, what he's saying, guys, is that you start your reincarnation process by the end of this incarnation. We're going to talk about that. How much more am I going to go? Just give me a minute. We'll talk about that.
The ovaries drop down on and become testes. It's just a cycle of breathing in, breathing out, the universal breath. And understanding that it brings us back to a balance. So I'm like, you want to
It's got to.
transgender, just wait. In a couple of years, in the next life, it's going to be exactly what you want.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, we're done. Okay, we're gonna let that one go. He kind of goes a little bit more into some of that conversation, but then they just kind of start wrapping things up. Hey, Simone, how are you? Okay, let's talk a little bit. First of all, did you guys enjoy? I know this is the third part of 3. Did you guys enjoy reviewing and recapping this interview? I thought this podcast was really amazing. I don't know, like when I can go along with his theory about this lifetime. So saying that this lifetime I'm a woman, but next lifetime I'll be a man. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. I'm good, Simone. Um, this lifetime being one, next time, and then alternating. I don't know if I fully agree with that, just because as I've seen people's past lives, when I do Akashic record readings and things like that, I don't I will see where people have predominantly been women or predominantly been male. I don't necessarily see it's not necessarily even. Now, I could explain that by perhaps you do an incarnation on another planet in another dimension before you return here. So you're interrupting the pattern. This would say that you would only be incarnating solely as a human being every time you do. And that would kind of suck. I mean, personally. Would you always want to incarnate on this planet over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? No. No, I'm good. Thank you. I think I'm going to take a little detour in the Pleiades or somewhere else. Go to Orion or something, for God's sake. I don't know that I want to be here every freaking time. Simone says no. Hey, Famish, for more. So I don't think I don't think that any higher being, contemplative being would want to be on this here planet multiple damn times, and that's the only one you come to. Although I will say this, that's probably not fair. I will say this: there are some human beings that I don't see any other incarnations on other planets. There are some humans that get kind of tied here and don't really like ever truly leave. You know, they get tied here over and over and over again. Jasmina says, I dreamt of of past life, and I've lived between 1886 and 1936. I was a woman. I never dreamed any other ones, but this one dream was so detailed from birth to death. Yeah, I can see that. So 1886, so 50 years. The life expectancy wasn't that long, but I wonder if you passed away rather tragically. Illness? Hmm. Illness. So sometimes we dream of our past lives. Sometimes we see them in meditation. Sometimes people come to people like me and I'll read your records. Um, for those of you that just joined, I am doing a special with my natal chart readings. I'll drop that in there. And a lot of times I do see past lives with your natal chart readings. I will see that as well. I'm going to drop that into the chat here really quick. So you got the same thing. Yeah, it's like lung disease I saw potentially. I don't know, but it was an illness. It wasn't violent. It was like a lot of times when we have these short lives, right, we see the violence. But I'll see people's past lives in there and so on. So but I don't typically see like alternating. The interesting thing is what I usually see that alternates when I'm looking at past lives is I see mother, daughter, father, son, like parent, child alternating. A lot of us have been, yep. Well, we are certainly in tune, my friend. A lot of us, especially my generation, so Gen X and then millennials. Gen X and then the millennials that were born to the mm, yeah, born to younger Gen Xers. Well, not necessarily young. Yeah, younger. Um, a lot of us have been we incarnated this lifetime as children to help our parents learn lessons. Children that to help our parents learn the lessons. So if you find that it seems like you've been raising your mama or your daddy for forever, since you was knee high to a duck, as they say, you probably were their parent beforehand, a previous lifetime, if not two lifetimes ago. That's what I find. But I know he's talking about a completely, he's talking about things a little bit differently. And I do like the esoteric and the beauty of the inhale and the exhale in the cycle. Oh my gosh. I need to get off this line. But also that is then really keeping this to the duality. Yeah. Really keeping. I was born in Spain. My name is Maria, poor, and I work for a rich count. You have another lifetime that you, Jasmina, that you died of lung cancer. And it could have been a parallel. This is the other thing I've come to see as well. Sometimes sometimes I have been able to see it's almost like parallel lives. So I just see you in some sort of a mining situation or factory where you died of lung cancer. Like I saw a lung disease, like black lung is what I kept hearing. And then Jay saw lung cancer, so that would make sense. But there's a past life that I'm picking up on that wasn't violent that time. Okay, wow. That's pretty detailed. Oh my. Yeah, we're going deep. Why should I leave it alone? You want to see your past life? I feel that way about my son, born 2 years after my dad left. Definitely something. Born with a mole in the same place. Yes, I'm telling you, like a lot of times. So my son and daughter-in-law are pregnant. I firmly believe that they're pregnant with a boy. I think it's one of their grandparents is coming back. Hers just passed away though, like 2, 3 years ago. So my dad has a better chance of being the one that's coming back. He's been gone 15 years. Ew. Okay. You and your feelings, how you doing? Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah, I forgot you and your feelings. I did that reading for you a long time ago. I think I got quote unquote hit in the back because I have a lighter spot that's always been there as long as I can remember. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, Jasmina, that's amazing. You probably did. I have seen past lives where I had a couple of past lives in New Orleans and it was not cute. How my end was not cute. And I didn't understand why I just refused to go to New Orleans until a couple years ago. I would not go to New Orleans. You could not get me to New Orleans. And then once I started like doing Akashic readings and then doing my own, then I saw them. And then I was like, oh, one person saw the other I saw. And then I was like, okay. Well, then I went to talking to the spirits, and I was like, listen, none of you mother truckers better show up anytime I come to New Orleans now. I don't want to see you. Don't come around me. Don't come messing with me. I'm not having it this go around. I'm not living there. I'm not fixing to bother y'all. Leave me alone. Don't even come around. Literally. It's crazy. Okay, here we go. I was so mad you done it. Listen, I'll be back down. I'm scared to step foot in Nola. You can't pay me. I can't. You could pay me. I can't do that. It's fine. I had a great time. I had a great time in Nola. Almost moved down there. You know, I dreamed my death was something between a slit throat or he fed me like a. Jasmina, you really have had a very violent situation going on there, darling. We need to connect. Yeah, okay, guys. Wow, we really went there tonight, didn't we? Anyway, so I really feel like I think that's a beautiful thing, but I think that way he's talking about it is very, 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 very dual and not really taking into account the quantum. And I understand the breathing in, breathing out, the male, the female, but that's still very dualistic and not really taking it and bringing it out quantumly, which I find interesting because everything else that he does, he like extrapolates it quantumly. So it's not just the 3D, it's multiple dimensions. So, but it's an interesting concept. But I really did enjoy hearing him. I really did. And I think we're gonna go down to some more rabbit holes again. I've never seen my end in dreams, but snippets of lifetimes on Earth. Probably. That's why I'm so low. I can smell energy vamp. Oh, because you're the real thing. I hear you. Um, I don't necessarily see my endings all the time. And I usually see mine not in dream, but in meditation. I've had like my Reiki master also helped me to see some. He saw some himself. I've seen some of that for others while I'm doing Reiki. Like sometimes I'll see energetic trauma, and then when I kind of get it into focus, then it's like, oh, that's what this is. And then I'll attach it to a past life. Once you start seeing your past lives, you just can't help it. Or you start seeing them for others once you learn to do Akashic Galactic. Well, I do Galactic record reading. Not everybody does. But once you do Akashic record readings or past life readings, yeah, it's super easy. Like I just naturally see it now. It's not, and that's always been the situation, even as a prophet. When I was a prophetess in the church, um, we didn't call it past lives then. I understand now that a lot of the things I was calling generational curses was actually that person's past life. Which is crazy. I want you to think about this. A lot of times in the church, what we deem as generational curses is really the past life of that person, but we're not equipped or programmed to have words for that. So now when I see an actual generational thing, I'm very specific in what I see. Like it's very much like, oh, your great, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, great great grandma back there. Da 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 da. She wanted a male child, so she went to da 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 da. Cut the deal, gave the offering, got the deal. Or your great 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 grandpa or whomever, like cut this deal, cut that deal, so that they could have wealth. But now we can show that the debt's been satisfied, it's been paid. So, but a lot of times what I recognize now when I was thinking it was a generational curse, it was really that person's past life. And they had done something in that past life that then then it brought forward in this life so that they could clear that karma. It does work, doesn't it, dear? It really does work. We also do Reiki, guys. If you guys want a Reiki, I'm kind of opening up my personal practice again. So, what do I see in galactic records? Galactic records are different from Akashic records. Akashic records, typically somebody that can read Akashic records, is simply the incarnations on Earth. Okay. And most of them are really only seeing your human incarnations on Earth. Galactic records are your star seed records. Galactic records are what other planetary place did you come from? What star system did you come from? Have you incarnated here on this earth, not as human, but as sometimes it'll be a deity, sometimes it'll be a high priest or something like that. What humans would determine as angels or other beings, fairies, other beings like that. And so guides, whatever. So sometimes or did you incarnate as part of a consciousness? So the galactic records are a little bit different. There's fewer of us, I think, that can read the galactic records, but I'm not entirely sure or certain that it is that we can't, so much as we get so limited in our sight, in our what we think that is we're capable of, and our giftings, that we just become very myopic and very tunnel visioned, you know, myopic and tunnel visioned. So Yasmina says you're born with gifts to accept. Yep. I'm very tuned in for others, but it's a little hard for myself. It's interesting and frustrating when I cannot. That is always that's the trade-off, isn't it? Um, I have a coach. I still have healers, and I still have readers that I go to. I don't go to many. It's not that many that I go to. It just doesn't. Good. I did. I guess that is like that just came to me, like realizing like those are those people. Yes, Red Violet, it is amazing. How are you, dear? I got your email. I just haven't had a chance to get back to people, to you yet, honey. Crystal Healing is what you're getting a certification now that I'm going for Reiki classes with Master. Well, we're Reiki Master here as well, my dear. So be on the lookout for, we do them virtually. So I do a tune all the way to Reiki Master teacher. Guys, should I open up the spiritual life coach certification? Should I open that up? Put a 1 in the chat if you would be willing to discuss a spiritual life coach certification where you'd learn some metaphysics, you'd get attuned as Reiki healer, Akashic record reader, tarot, astrologer, some other things as well. We are very limited by societal rules. It can be hard to interpret for ourselves, but we can get there. It just, I choose not to sometimes, you know? In the book. See, and I don't see them as books. I don't see it as a library either. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Cancer. You know, Cancerians, we're so water, and we're so like driven by that emotion that I think that when I see things, I feel them. I feel see. I don't see. So I don't, like when he was talking about the sound of the frequency of a color, it made perfect sense to me because that's a vibration. And I'm like, yeah, no, I feel the color. So when I say I'm like seeing things in your aura and your auric field, I have to say see because it's the only way anybody else understands me. But that ain't really what's happening. I'm feeling the colors of your aura. I'm feeling certain things. And then I've learned to translate that into an image so that I can relay that information. Tasha, I know you want to. Thanks, guys. So Tasha, Jace, famished. I know you are. Yeah, but I do want to find out what happened with that meeting. Hey, Tony's treasures. How are you, beloved? I've been meaning to hit you up at the master certification. I'm a Virgo, so I don't know if that applies. But it does a little bit because you guys are much more like physical because you're earthy. I've been told I have this sight, so when I might be more attuned to seeing the library as a library. Yeah, you probably will. I've had people say they see it as computers. You know what? That's interesting. I never heard that. And you would probably see the galactic records as like, I think that would be wonderful because for you, because you could probably see them like in the beauty of the systems as they exist. I I I sometimes like my Reiki master is a Capricorn, so another earth sign. So he physically, I told this story before, he physically sees auras, like physically sees them. And I'm always like, God, that's gonna be annoying. Like how you turn that off? Like, do you ever turn it off? You're just getting used to it. And I guess it's no different than me just walking around feeling everything all the time, with the spidey senses. But he physically sees them with his eyes, which I think is completely dope. Like it's amazing. But so everything, like when we talk about certain things, he sees it. Yeah, everybody does see different. I'm doing very well. Thank you, dear. I feel and no answers. Yeah, you're very intuitive, very empathic. Looking at someone's eyes, I'm telling a lot about them more than they even know. Yeah, I could see that. Yes, Mina. Are you here in the States? My son's Virgo storm, 8th house. Well, I would imagine being in the 8th house. What's the stellium? You're in Canada. Okay. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. The 8th house is Scorpio house, right? So that's the house of, they'll say it's the house of the occult, but occult only means hidden knowledge, guys. It doesn't, right? It doesn't mean evil. Oh, he's got his sun and his moon are in the same house and in the same sign. He a double Virgo? Well, Mars is at home in the 8th house, so he's going to be he's going to be more blunt than normal. Y'all Virgos can be really lethal with y'all tongue, but he going to be, listen, don't, that's not even right. He going nuclear, nuclear. Okay, please don't cross him ever, because he's going to. It's not even reading you for filth. It's reading you, digging your grave, putting you in the grave while you're still breathing, and putting the dirt upon you, and not caring, walking away while you're screaming, or you're dumbfounded by the absolute lethalness of the read. Like he's not going to take anything, but he's going to see into people's like, you're not going to fool him. There'll be no fooling here. Oh, thank you, beloved. Yeah, listen, y'all gonna go. Oh, Mhm. Y'all lethal. I ask if people want to hear my honest answer. You have to. Listen, I have to do the same thing, especially when we're spiritual and we're empathic and we've awakened and we're starting to use our gifts. We just do not have time for the BS. So we're going to ask you straight up, do you really want to hear what the hell I have to say? If you want me to respond, do you want me to give you advice? Do you want my real answer, or am I just comforting in this moment? Are you just venting? Because I need to know. Because if you're not, if you don't tell me you're venting, I'm not responsible. Children of a new age are much more in tune, absolutely, with everything. We had to work on a lot. They certainly are. Yes, Mina. They are born with heart chakra upgrades. I believe that, and I also believe that they're born with throat chakra upgrades too. Because these children today, they'll tell you. You know, my 10-year-old granddaughter will tell you quick, fast, and in a hurry what is not cool, what she don't like, but she ain't fixing to do. And it's not even necessarily, she's not even being smart by it. And she's very much, you talk to her a certain way, she's going to talk to you back that way because, well, you open the door and she a Gemini, get out of here. So if if you're an adult and you're real rah-rah with her, like not like in a leadership role, do you understand what I'm saying? Like you talking to her like she one of your little girlfriends. Oh, she finna give it right back to you, baby. She not finna have it. And she'll tell you what she don't think is fair. And she's questioning everything. Now she don't question grandma because she knows I have built up the trust level. So she knows that grandma's not going to tell her a tale. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell it straight up like it is. I'm not doing that. So she knows that. So she doesn't question me at all. But everybody else, even her daddy, can get it. She don't care. She not having it. She don't want to hear it. And if grandma, well, what did grandma say? To this day, what did grandma say? If I like you, stop. He's a silent watcher. He's like gathering all that information and he'll process it all. And when he comes, baby, she knows, baby. She knows. She knows. She knows I don't play. Oh, y'all. Okay. So listen, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna what I'll do, I don't know if it's gonna be tonight. During this week, though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the spiritual life coach because I have most of it already ready. I'm gonna get that back ready again and we'll present it. And you guys can come on and take that certification. Um and that'll include Reiki Master Teacher Attunement too. So that'll be the whole 9 yards. You'll learn Akashic record reading, tarot, astrology. You'll learn metaphysics. We'll have some uh Kemetic healing. Like Sekhmet. There's different like I've actually developed some Sekhmet rituals for healing. Hathor healing and that. So we'll kind of go into that as well. Um, okay. And I'm supposed to then also develop the meditation and teach it to you guys how to get into Hathor's pyramid and do the healing. And there's a healing pool, right? In Hathor's pyramid. And so there's a specific way we get in there, and then we can do that. Like you can literally do that healing. I've done that healing ritual for people like completely virtually. Like it's a little astral projection. Just a little. just a little, not a lot, just a little. But we can like go and go through that. So I need to develop that one as well. That's really good for body healing. There have been a lot of people that have had like back issues or joint pain, really anything, and it's really good for that. Also, when people have suffered like energetic trauma, like being able to take kind of their higher self energy and put them into the water, the healing waters and Hathor's um, chambers. So I've got to develop that one. I've got to develop that one. We could do that while we're learning. Your son's very observant, I bet. Hey, Coach Leslie. Okay, cool. We're getting off here. I'm looking forward to you being here. Okay. All right, gang. I'm gonna go make some. Oh my God, it's 8:00. I cannot get used to this East Coast time. Um, okay, we're gonna get on our chair, okay? I'm gonna go make me a little dinner, eat a little dinner. Tomorrow is Messy Monday. So we'll do readings again tomorrow night. I'll do some readings again tomorrow night, just like I did last week. Um, if you guys, there is a link down in the description if you want to book a natal chart reading with me. If you want an Akashic record reading from me, that listing is out there, but on my website, heartofinspiration.net. And so yeah. Or if you want to book a regular reading with me, those links are down in the description box below. We'll put together everything that I need for the spiritual life coach, and we'll get that done this week. I'll get that set up, okay? All right, guys. I'm so excited. This is gonna be fun. And then I don't know what we're gonna do the rest of the week. Oh, members. You should have seen a members only post. So go to your membership area, like the post or whatever. But there's a members only post I put up a couple hours ago. We're starting everything tomorrow for the 60-day challenge. I did put a link to our members only video live that I did last night. There was a lot of us together, but we're going to be reading a book together. And we'll be meeting every Sunday at noon Eastern. Okay. Unless somebody tells me I need to move it, and then I'll move it. But I want to keep it on Sundays because I kind of like to do other things on Saturdays. So members, you guys can still join and just go on and join and do that. Like, guys, it's only $1.99 a month. It's not that much. So it's fine. Thank you, Yasmina. I will have a wonderful night, Tasha. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. And we'll figure out, guys, let me know what's the next topic we want to talk about. Love and light to you, Yasmina. I'm gonna do a video about the similarities between Christianity and spirituality. And let me know the next topic you guys want me to dive into during our weekly lives, or if there's any pop culture. I probably should do one pop culture live a week. So if there's topics or people that you want me to discuss that way. But tomorrow night's Messy Monday, 7:30. I'll probably maybe 7 p.m. Eastern, so I can get off of here and I'm not on here for favors and I get some sleep. All right. Okay, guys. I will see you guys soon. You guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate you. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys very, very much. Namaste. Bye.